are in listen-only mode.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to the first day in October, and also welcome to what is the next generation of webinar programs now being sponsored by the Worldwide Radio Operators Foundation. As some of you have maybe participated in these before know, this program originated with the Potomac Valley Radio Club, and that actually started in June of 2009. And for 3 years, through the generosity of PVRC's membership, the program has flourished. And as of this fall now, the WWROF has picked up sponsorship, so this is the first of many webinars to come, I hope. I would encourage you, if you would like, to visit the WWROF's webpage at www.wwrof.org, and there should be a link in the email notifications that you received as well, and it's also up there on the slide. Take a minute, if you would, look at their charter. Don't do it during the presentation, please, but take a minute and look at their charter and some of the work they're doing. If you like what you see, please consider supporting their effort, and you can do that by clicking on the How Can I Get Involved link. You'll see a long list of supporters from around the world, and as they say, many hands make light work, so they would welcome your support. Tonight's presentation is a little unique in that we have actually two presentations in one. You get a double header, and we're going to start with the Pennsylvania QSO Party with Mike Coslo and 3LI. And after Mike's presentation, we'll open it up for any questions, and then after that, shoot it out to the West Coast to John, where he can do his presentation on the California QSO Party. And we'll have some, if we have any questions for him, we'll take those at the end, and then we'll wrap things up. If you do submit a question, and you can do that by opening up the little question box and typing in your question, and please put your call sign at the end if you would, and you can send those to me at any time, but we are going to hold the actual questions until the end of the individual presentations. So with that, if you just give me a second, I am going to shoot the presentation mode over to Mike, and he will pick that up, and we'll go ahead and let him dive in. Mike, you should have the little box to click on there. Yeah, okay.
Okay, everybody's seeing me.
There we go. Looks perfect. Go for it.
All righty, very good. Thanks a lot for having me on here tonight. Anyhow, the Pennsylvania QSO Party is a get-together disguised as a state QSO party in the fall for hams to enjoy some friendly and fun competition. This is our 55th year, and we've been around since 1957 when I was just 3 years old, so I don't remember a whole lot about those days. The party date is always the second full week of October and the week after the California QSO Party, which makes this year on the 13th and 14th. Okay, the Pennsylvania QSO Party is sponsored by the Nittany Amateur Radio Club in State College, Pennsylvania, and I am the party chair and the vice president of the Nittany Amateur Radio Club and chairman of the party, and ably assisted by John Passano, W3JXP. Okay, we bill ourselves as the friendly QS party, and we try to keep it that way. Although there's plenty of competition, I'm always amazed at how hams try to help each other out. I often run mobile in the party, and I'll be working from a rare county. Well, there might be some operator who's running a particular frequency, and I give them a QSO, and another op will break in and ask if they can get a contact with me. Now, in some more aggressive contacts, this would be start of World War III, but every time that I've been involved with it, the person running the frequency would give it up for 20 seconds or so to allow the other ham to get me in their logbook. And we try to strike a balance between the good old days and the fact that amateur radio moves forward. Okay, and we have a lot of certificates and trophies. Oddly enough, this has been a source of contention occasionally because some contesters think we have too many, but we don't. We have just enough. We've got, and this is a bit of a list here, but we've got certificates for top operators in each county, single and multi-operator, and section winners from all over the U.S. and Canada. And then we have our plaques. Now, the class plaques are all sponsored, with one exception. And anyhow, we have, you can see them here, EPA, WPA, medium power, QRP, in-state and out-of-state, multi-single and multi-multi PA operator, and then the time zones that we have. We have an out-of-state medium power, Canadian sections and DX, rovers and mobile single and mobile multi, portable. You can read down the list there and see. I'd note that the first timer is for a person who's participated in party for the first time, but they're not like a big gun in other contests. Also, the 20-meter Good Neighbor Award for the most contacts on 20 meters. And this is done to encourage PA ops to contact the out-of-state operators so they can have some more opportunities in the party. Finally, if the operator has had QSOs with each of the 67 Pennsylvania counties, he can purchase a worked all 67 counties plaque, of which this is an example. Okay, so moving on to scoring, we do have an agenda. We like to promote Morse code CW. It's a great mode and worthy of promotion. We like to promote QRP operation for the same reasons. We like to promote mobile operation. Pennsylvania is a big state with some counties that are heavily populated and other counties that are almost wilderness. And our mobiles and rovers have helped a lot of people get all 67 counties that they otherwise wouldn't have. They're critical to the success of the party, and more ops are discovering the fun of operating mobile because this is a beautiful time of year in Pennsylvania. The leaves are turning and falling, and the weather is usually still pretty good. You'll have 70-degree daylight times, and I've always certainly enjoyed operating mobile myself. We have a few people notable. Jim Stahl, running as W3USA, has been a real mainstay of mobile operations for years. And we've split the mobile classes into mobile single and mobile multi-operator this year. Okay, now scoring of the party. It's a little more straightforward than it used to be. We have 2 points for CW, 2 points for PSK 32 and RIDI, and single sideband are 1 point each. Okay, so you get your points, then you have scoring multipliers. Each county that you contact in Pennsylvania is a multiplier. Each section in U.S. and Canada is also 1 multiplier. DX is 1 multiplier only, no matter how many DX contacts you make. You get 1 multiplier for that. Okay, that gives you the raw score. Okay, then the bonus point, and here's one of these things where you can see where we promote something. QRP, it's a lot harder for them to get contacts, so they get the raw score and double it. Then there is the bonus station, and that for you get 200 points for each contact with that. Note that W3SC is the bonus station this year. I'll be repeating that in case anybody needs to end up writing that down. Then to encourage mobile and portable operators, there is a 500-point bonus for each county that's operated with at least 10 QSOs. So then you add that up, and that's the final score. We do feature a bonus event station that's been very popular, in which a club or group of operators operate a station that's worth 200 points per QSO per mode per band. We've had both single station bonus stations and some multi-location and even mobile bonus stations. The multiple station bonus stations take a good deal of coordination to keep the log checking in line. But we do like a little bit of novelty in the bonus station because it's interesting, and if it's something that that, just like I say, keeps people interested. Also, groups who are interested in being a bonus station should contact me. Basically, what we like is the group to let us know they're interested. If there is some special event for them, say, for instance, a few years back when Mergus was a special event station, it was the 100th anniversary of their founder. I believe it was 100th anniversary of his birth or death. I forget. Forgive me. Okay, so here's some history. This is when George Washington was trying to do maritime mobile in Delaware County. Anyhow, the party was created in 1957, as I'd noted before, and Nittany Arc isn't the original party sponsor. That honor goes to the Harrisburg Amateur Radio Club, with the original chair, W3IMN, Harold German. Then after that, it just gets a little bit murky. Anybody who knows anything about the early years, I'd like to, get the word out that that people get in contact with me with historical items. And the next thing I know about is K3YD Blair Bates reports that NARC was running the party in 1966, the first time that he participated. Through the years, we've had several chairmen. Doug Maddox, W3HDH, is probably the best known. Hardy Weiss, NH7Y, and Chuck McMullen, K3CM. He'd done that during a number of years, not all inclusive, but split. Woody Brim, K3YV, John Walters, W3JAW, and then finally they hit rock bottom and got me to do it. Okay, so a little bit more of the history. Participation follows the sunspot cycle, as is not too surprising. At the bottom of the solar cycle in 1975, there were only 35 logs total. They almost canceled the party at that point, but then again, checking 35 logs doesn't take that long. Then in 1979, they instituted the first plaques for in-state and out-of-state. There were only two. The first winners were N3AOT. I'm not sure who that is. I couldn't find the call sign in the on QRZ, and John Watson, VE3DAP. And before the plaques, the top prize was a call book. Then in 1980, the party started to look more like the modern party, and realizing some changes were needed, there were questionnaires sent to PA contesters, and when the dust settled, 3-point out-of-state QSOs were gone, 1-point in-state QSOs were gone, and the additions, which are pretty close to what we have now, 2 points for 160 and 80 meter QSOs, and then 1.5 points for 40 meter and up, CW, multipliers for counties, and then a club award. Something must have been done right, because the party grew, and along the way more plaques were added. Then the bonus station. In 1992, NARC operated the first bonus station from the Bull Mansion in Boalsburg, PA. That was immediately very popular, and as time went on, other clubs expressed interest. So in 1997, the bonus station was made a permanent part of the party, and it was the I get ahead of myself. In 1996, the Delaware Lehigh Arc became the first non-NARC bonus station. In 1997, that was when it was made a permanent part of the party. So we've had bonus stations from Beaver Valley, Murgus Amateur, the Carbon Amateur Radio Club. In 2000, W3YA was the bonus station when the group that was supposed to do it had an emergency and couldn't be the bonus station that year. Then 2001, Spark. Then 2002, FRC, Franklin Radio Club. Then Steel City, Harrisburg, 2005, Murgus, and then N3SH, Wireless Association of South Hills in 2006. And 2007, we had our 50th anniversary, and we were the bonus station again. Then Delaware Lehigh Arc. Then this 2009 NK3AE was a group instead of a club specifically. That was KQX group with Al Zelma running under his call sign. Then K3MJW in 2010, and then last year was Somerset County, and then the 2012 is W3SC, and that's under the auspices of the Schuylkill Repeater Association. We have had some experiments in multi-station bonus station, and that is that was very interesting. It wasn't always completely popular at first, but in the end, I think everybody liked it. So in 2006, N3SH, the WASH Club effort, which was coordinated by Ron Notarius, W3WN, was probably the height of the multi-station efforts. And they activated many counties and even had a mobile presence. And well, one of the things that with the multi-station bonus stations, part of the reason why I like them is because they make an effort to the bottom of the sunspot cycle. Some of the QSOs are a little harder to come by. So we try to keep people interested with little twists and turns, and I believe it helps with participation. Then my tenure. When I took over in 2005, I've been the webmaster for the party for some years, working with Chuck K3CM, posting scores and trying to get the website modernized. After becoming the chair, the first thing I noticed was that I wasn't competent to be the chair, so I had to learn a whole lot and learn it quickly. But experience is something that you get right after you need it, and boy, I sure got some right after I needed it. So some of the things I learned quickly were there's a big difference between operating in a QSO party and administrating it. Then our party people are very passionate about their party. I've just been impressed with just how much they care about it. And I really had to be careful with changes. I think that in trying to modernize the party, I just have to really think about the unintended consequences. So But some of the changes that I've made were I eliminated the 1.5 Point QSO, added digital modes, and clarified the rules. And those 1.5 QSOs were originally an attempt to get more ops working 80 and 160 meter CW. That was all well and good, but 1.5 points per QSO ended up being a nuisance and created logging issues. So eliminating was one goal met. All CW QSOs are now 2 points, and I do it again in a moment. Digital modes. Adding digital modes to the party was a little more controversial, to say the least. I managed to reap worldwide criticism when I added that one. There had been a lot of requests to add digital modes like PSK31 and even RIDI to the party, and they found a sympathetic ear in me because my favorite mode is PSK31. So after careful consideration, I decided to add the 2 modes of the party, and caused a ruckus. Some people loved it and some not so much. I even picked up international criticism on this edition. But here we are, and digital participation hasn't harmed anything, and it's grown year by year. It's not a major aspect of the party yet, but it is here, and I recommend giving it a try. And if all goes well, I'll be out of the witness protection any year now. Now the rules. Rules are a double-edged sword. I've worked with rules and committees since the early 1990s, and I can tell everybody that the more rules, more questions. But we were in big need of rules updates, so I dove in with some trepidation. We went from 1 page to something like 6 pages. But I think it was a pretty good job in the end. The rules have the straight rules plus definitions and descriptions. Yep, 6 pages. So now, one of the things that we're going to do this year that I was saving for an announcement for tonight is that we're introducing a new plaque. And I guess people probably are saying, oh, another new plaque. But anyhow, in a collaborative effort between the 2 state QSO parties that just happened to occur on the same weekend, the PA QSO Party and the Arizona QSO Party will be sponsoring plaques in each other's parties. The PA QSO will operate a plaque to the highest scoring operator from Arizona in our party, and the Arizona QSO Party will offer a plaque for the highest scoring PA operator in the Arizona QSO Party. This is a great way to promote 20-meter operation during the day, and there's a growing number of operators who like to work multiple parties or contests at the same time. Of course, you can use any frequency that both parties use, but propagation should favor 20 meters much of the time. Operate in both parties, submit your logs, and you just might win a plaque. And I really do enjoy the spirit of cooperation between the 2 parties, and I'm excited to give it a try. The exchange that you'd be getting would be based on Arizona celebrating 100 years of statehood this year. And the Arizona QSO Party is an official centennial event. Now, the Pennsylvania Operators Exchange would be your name and state. That's pretty straightforward. The Arizona Operators Exchange is a number picked from a list of significant years in Arizona history. For instance, in 1854, copper was discovered in Arizona, so they'd use 1854 as their exchange for the entire party. And you should go to their website at http://azqsoparty.org, and there's a list of the years that the Arizona Ops will be using, and you can learn a little Arizona history at the same time as having some fun at the party. So for people who would like a little extra challenge, you can operate both parties at the same time. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but some people would like to, and let's just see how it works out. Okay, the future. First is both now and the future, because I couldn't figure out a good place to put this elsewhere. We want now Cabrillo 3 format logs. We'll still be accepting Cabrillo 2 format logs for this year, and we'll have to see how things work out with that. But what we officially want is Cabrillo 3. Now on to things that will actually happen in the future. And this one should be pretty popular and make things more convenient for the operators. We've had a requirement for a mailed-in summary sheet for a long time now. And it is what helps us survive as a party. But if all goes well, next year we'll eliminate that requirement. But just remember, the requirement is still there for this year's party. But how do I get that rare and desirable PAQSA Party t-shirt, or how do I pay for my plaque, you might add? Well, we'll be adding a way to purchase promotional items, the personal plaques, and donations via our website. This should streamline operations by quite a bit. And you're all probably tired of hearing me yak by now. So in closing, the PAQSO Party's a small club that's running a big party, and we're kind of proud of that. It's been 55 years, so we have an idea of preserving history while keeping up with technology. And state QSO parties are supposed to be fun. Interesting things should be going on. And I really take it seriously, the concept of being known as the Friendly QSO Party, and my main mission is to keep it that way. So thanks go out to Doug Maddox, W3HDH. I picked up some historical information from a piece he wrote a few years back. To the members of the Reflector, they've given me some historical info and kind of kept me on my toes. Thanks to our many sponsors, and we do have a lot of them, so for a full listing, check out the rules pages on our website. And thanks to the Worldwide Radio Operators Foundation for making this webinar possible, and thanks to all the hams who operate in the party and help make us the Friendly QSO Party. Okay, that about does it for me.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. Any questions, go ahead and shoot them in quick. And I do have one question from Mark AA3K, and he would like to know, Mike, if Canada counts as DX.
No, Canada is sections, just like the U.S. And I would note that we have not updated the sections, the Canadian sections, to reflect the changes that the RAC has made, which was to add a lot to what was the Ontario section. The reason is that it was just probably about a month ago, roughly, maybe a little longer than that, and we saw chaos with the different logging programs, because some would probably have it, some might not. So we decided to stick with those sections for now. But yeah, DX is everywhere but Canada outside of the U.S.
Okay, real quick, if you can give me a 30-second answer to this one, then we need to get out to John. Any chance the PAQSO Party will go back to a continuous 24 operation period like it was in the 90s? And that came from Dan, KK3 Alpha November.
Okay, the break overnight has been pretty popular because of people being able to get a rest. I don't have any plans of returning it to that. If we get enough people looking for it, we'll look at it. But at the moment, we haven't.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. With that, let's go ahead and shoot it out to the West Coast. John, I'm going to make you the presenter here. Should get a little pop-up on your screen. Are you seeing that, John?
It says I clicked on show my screen.
Okay.
Let's see, what am I doing wrong here?
Oh, okay. No, you're okay. I for some reason I lost it here on my end. Okay, you've got it. Just go ahead and bring up your presentation. And
how's that?
Yep, it'll come up. Okay, perfect. You're on. Go for it.
Are we there? We're ready to go? Okay, thanks. Thank you, Ken. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. And also thanks to WWROF for sponsoring the webinar program now. You guys are going to be busy. It's a very popular way to get information across. Tonight, I'd like to chat with you about the California QSO Party, which is coming up in a few days. The California QSO Party, as you may know, is sponsored by the Northern California Contest Club. It's also been around for a while. First year was 1966, so this year we're celebrating our 47th year. It's the 47th running. It seems to be a popular contest because it serves as a, just like the Pennsylvania QSO Party, as the nice gateway into the fall contest season. Good chance to kind of get your skill set up, get your station running, try out some new things before you plunge into a contest in October, November, December, which are coming up. The contest has grown steadily over the last 10 years, especially. In 2011, a year ago, we actually received 985 logs, kind of set a record there, and it represented about 290,000 QSOs altogether. We're shooting for at least 1,000 this year, hoping to break 1,000. The rules and scoring system, spent a lot of time thinking that through and try to make it as fair as possible to everybody. One of the things that drives that is the fact that we have a balance of 58 multipliers, an equal number of multipliers for both in-state and out-of-state operators. We do have an attractive awards program, which I'll talk about a little bit later. We've also, over the last 2 years, introduced some specialized awards to help attract a number of different subgroups, into this hobby. Yes, we offer a souvenir T-shirt. It's a pretty cool shirt. Changes color every year. This year it's going to be burgundy, for those of you who are collectors. Some people have described the California QSO Party as the most legal fun that you can have on the air. Well, we tend to agree. The contest objective is pretty simple. The stations outside of California work as many California stations as possible in the California counties. Stations in California can work anybody. They can work other stations in California, everybody across the United States and Canada, and any DX stations that are in the contest as well. The exchange is pretty simple. If you're a California station, you send out a QSO number and then the county that you're operating from. If you're outside of California, you send a QSO number and then the state that you're in or the Canadian province, or if you're outside the United States, just DX. One important point to make about this contest is that the same station can be worked once on CW and once on phone on each band. So, for example, if you operate 5 bands in both modes, you could operate this. You could work the same station 10 times. 5 bands times 2 modes. There is a maximum for any operator in this contest of 58 multipliers. Take a look at these 58 multipliers for a moment. These are the multipliers that are the 58 for any operator inside California. Obviously, the goal is to work all 50 states plus the 8 Canadian provinces that you see. Each of these multipliers is a 2-letter abbreviation, so it's pretty simple. You can download, of course, a PDF of these multipliers from the website. If you're out of state, then your goal is to work all the counties. All the counties are listed here, and you'll notice that every county is a 4-letter abbreviation. Really, the first 4 letters of the county, with some exceptions if the county is two words instead of 1. It's a pretty standard way to do this. and it is possible to get a sweep in California QSO Party. Listed here are the 37 stations in California and the 31 stations outside that got a sweep in 2011. It's kind of fun. It adds a little bit of excitement to the contest in the same way that sweepstakes offers the sweep opportunity. One of the most important things we strive for every year is to make sure that every county is covered. This is a map as of today that shows you the 58 counties, and the color coding is such that the dark orange means there are at least a couple stations in each county. So we feel really good about the coverage. The limited ones that you see have at least one or perhaps two operators, but we could use one or two more to kind of shore them up. So if anybody on the call is from California, you still have time to go out to Madera, Mariposa, Stanislaus, Plumas, and so forth. That would be great. But as of tonight, we're proud to say that all 58 counties will be on the air again this year. Now, one of the things to think about when you enter this type of a contest, or any contest for that matter, is what are your goals? So there's some questions that you have to answer, or to at least ask yourself and maybe answer. Are you out to win this thing? Do you want to just earn a certificate? Is it a goal to just test some equipment? Do you have a friend or neighbor that you compete against? Do you want to beat your score from last year? Do you want to set a target of making exactly 1,000 QSOs just to see that as a milestone for yourself? Or do you just want to get on the air and have some fun? Well, depending on what your goals are, you then have to decide some things before you enter the contest, and that is, which entry class? Do you want to operate as a single operator, a multi-single, multi-multi? Which bands do you want to operate? We open up all these bands that you see here, but the ones in red are really the practical bands for this contest, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. What's your preference, CW, sideband, or both? And what technique? Do you like to search and pounce? Do you prefer to grab a run frequency, or are you comfortable trying to do both? What software should you use? What's available for the California QSO Party? And oh yeah, when do you take that all-important break? So we'll kind of dive into this real quick. First of all, there are 9 options, 9 classes that you can enter. There are 3 for single op, high, low, and QRP. 3 for multi-single, high, low, and QRP, and 3 for multi-multi, same, high, low, and QRP. So let's take the first one. If you want to operate as a single operator, you have 3 choices. You can operate using high power, which is greater than 200 watts. The expectation is that you're going to be operating with 1 transmitter, and the maximum operating time allowed for that is 24 hours. If you operate low power, it's less than 200 watts, QRP is 5 or less. And if you operate SO, any of those 3, then you're really not allowed to use the spotting networks of any kind. If you send in your entry and as in R, have used spotting, you will be reclassified as multi-single. Or you can actually choose to operate as a multi-single operator if you choose, if you really want to utilize the packet cluster, CW skimmer, and so forth. There's no problem. The advantage of operating multi-single over single operators is that you can operate the whole 30 hours instead of just 24 hours. So we'll move to that next category, multi-single. Again, 3 options in terms of power, high, low, and QRP. In this case, you'll have multiple operators, but only 1 signal on the air at a time, 1 transmitter on the air. You can have another station operating or listening for spots or performing any other station function except transmitting, and you can operate the full 30 hours. Multi-multi is the same. In this case, instead of having 1 transmitter or 1 signal on the air, you can have as many as you want, and as many operators operating. So those are the choices in terms of the entry class. And this is a summary slide that says basically there are 3 single op choices, maximum time 24 hours with no spotting assistance, and the other 2 multi-single, multi-multi have again the 3 power choices. 30 hours assistance is okay. Okay, another question that often comes up, and this is a horrible slide, it's going to take a while to come up, but you should have it. Which bands and when? Down below is the timeline, 1600 to when it ends. It's 30 hours across. And as you can imagine, at 1600, which on the West Coast is 9 o'clock in the morning, 20 and 15 should open up, and those will be the busy bands for the bulk of the day. Although don't count out 10 meters, because as you know, 10 meters has been very active lately, and so we expect 10 meters to be a very important band to watch out for this year. As the day progresses, of course, the activity shifts from 20 to 40, 40 to 80. At about 0700 or thereabouts, things tend to slow down for about 4 or 5 hours and then pick up again at about 1100. And then, of course, it's a repeat on Sunday morning with the same type of band openings on the high bands. High frequencies are normally 20, 15, and 10 meters. This graph is just kind of a composite of the typical contest over the last few years. But 10 meters really is becoming a more important band, and we think it'll be really important this year, as I've said. So just to summarize on the band side, 15 and 20 should be your money bands this weekend, and starting 1600 through, and I have question marks because those of you that have been on the air lately know that 15 and 20 stay open later than you might think, especially 20 meters. It goes forever. A couple of nights ago, I was working the guys on Conway Reef from here. It was like 11 o'clock at night, no problem. So you're going to have to watch what's going on. Just kind of spin the dial and listen, unless you're operating and we're able to use the cluster. Watch 10 meters because you might pick up some bonus points or some mults there, and then the rest is pretty much traditional. You won't find much activity on 160. We advertise that, and locally some guys will get on and push each other around on 160 to get some extra points, but we don't get a lot of activity on 160. Another dilemma is which mode should you operate, CW, sideband, or both? It's always a challenge. I mentioned that last year we had 985 logs. This is a graphic that shows you the chart the last 13 years or so and how it's built up. What's more interesting is to look at the split between phone and CW. And over the last few years, it's evened out, so that look at the total number of phone contacts pretty much approximates the total number of CW contacts. One of the reasons for that is shown on the next slide. We actually award more points for a CW contact than we do for phone. So if you if you make a CW contact, it's worth 3 points. If you make a phone contact, it's worth 2. In this simple example, if you have equal numbers of QSOs between CW and sideband, 200 in this example, you can see that for the 200 CW contacts, you would get 600 points. For the 200 sideband contacts, you would get 400 points, which means that you're 1.5 ahead of the game on CW. Just in this simple example, you always will be because of the point difference. You get those two together, 600 plus 400, you get 1,000, and let's say we pretend that you worked 40 multipliers out of the 58. Your score would be 4,000 points. This is how your score is calculated. It's a pretty simple formula, but I think a lot of people forget during the contest, those who are trying to maximize their score, that there are a couple things to keep in mind. One is to try to get as many multipliers as possible, and the other is the point difference between CW and phone. So, of course, the choices at this point are, do you want to operate 100% CW? Do you want to operate 100% phone, or can you operate a combination of both? And we recommend trying to do that if you can. And the reason is because some stations only work on Morse code, some only operate sideband. So if you're really after getting that full sweep of all 58 multipliers, you tend to have to be prepared to look around for some of the multipliers that may be on one mode only. And again, it's always important to maximize your score by thinking about maximizing those multipliers. Get to the 58 or as many as you can. If you're rusty in terms of copying call signs, there's some great online training software that you might be familiar with. Morse Runner is one, WWROF ZXP is another. If you go to the NCCC website and you'll click on the resources section, you'll find all of those listed there with the links, and they're really fantastic training tools. Another question you'll be asking yourself is, what should I do when I'm on the air? Should I be running? Should I be searching and pouncing, or should I be doing both? It's a complex question because the factors that go into that have to do with what class entry are you taking advantage of a spotting network so you can jump around very quickly and see where the spots are, or are you going to fly blind, so to speak? If you've got an amplifier and you're comfortable holding a run frequency, obviously that's to your advantage. If you're even comfortable running, some people are not comfortable actually doing that. They much prefer to have a more relaxed search and pounce kind of experience. Again, this all relates back to those goals that I listed before. What would you like to do for the weekend? In general, I think it's safe to say that if you're a California station, you should try to run as much as possible. Call CQ. Why? Because this is one of those contests where you are the DX. Everybody outside the state really is trying to work you, and they're after your county. They're after you as a multiplier. If the rate starts to fall, and you have a lot of multipliers from outside the outside of California, then you can search and pounce for the remaining mults. If you're a smaller station, 100 watts with a little antenna of some sort on a city lot, don't despair. Try moving to the band edges, because a lot of the non-California stations will find you if you're a little pistol station in California. If you're outside of California, obviously you want to try to grab the multipliers as much as possible, and a lot of guys start the contest by simply spinning the dial and finding the multipliers as fast as they can. We actually give an award out called the First to 58 for both California and non-California. That's the first, whoever gets to the 58 multipliers the fastest for both California and outside California. It's a fun award to work for. Obviously, if you're outside of California, switch to CQing if you've worked a lot of the running stations that you can find. If you find a clear spot, and if the band conditions are such, no reason not to go for it. What software should you use? Well, again, go to the CQP website, cqp.org, and you'll see a software page. There are several options for you. Several are free. They're listed here. The CQP Win is actually an application that's a Windows application written by our own Andy, AE6Y. You probably know Andy Faber. It's I call it a beginning level software. It's very easy to learn, covers everything you'll want for this, and also some other contests too. The N1MM is a very popular application, as is WriteLog. N1MM is free. It's more of an intermediate to advanced level software. It's my personal favorite, actually. It has nothing to do with my call sign. Hi. TR4W is also free. It's an intermediate level. These are great contest logging software. Another good one to start out with is N3FJP stuff. It's easy to learn, and if you've never used a contest logger, highly recommend either CQP Win or N3FJP. WriteLog is a great application too. It just costs a little bit more money. For some people, they actually will use a computer using an Excel spreadsheet. They're comfortable with that, and so log their stuff in Excel and then send it as an attachment. We kind of roll our eyes, but we'll accept it. The worst experience of all is when we get paper logs sent to us. It's very time-consuming. Often we can't read anything, and it just slows the log checking process down tremendously. So we just try to discourage that as much as possible. Looking at the N1MM for a minute, and this is one of the advantages of that application. If you're a California operator, all the multipliers will be in front of you on one screen. You'll see them all those 58 are right there. If you happen to be a non-California operator, all the counties of California will be sitting right in front of you. And as you work them, of course, the little boxes will be checked off in a color. So you don't even have to keep a cheat sheet next to you. You can just look on the screen, and all your multipliers are there right in front of you. So for example, when you're working one of the California counties that starts with the letter S, there are a lot of them, and they can be very confusing. Santa Barbara is different than San Benito, which is different than San Bernardino, and so forth. So it's nice to have these in front of you so you don't miscopy one of the four-letter counties. WriteLog has the same advantage. The California operator shows that type of window. You have all the states and the Canadian provinces. Non-California has all of the California counties listed. So that's one of the advantages of using either one of those pieces of software. And as I said, if you want to go to the California QSO Party website, it's just cqp.org. click over there on software, you'll get that window, and there's a lot more information. Please make every effort to use a contest logging program for CQP, because it really does speed up the log checking process tremendously. By the way, I'm the webmaster for both NCCC and the California QSO Party. So if you have any, if you notice anything that needs to be changed, shoot me an email. All feedback welcome. When to sleep? Well, I showed you this chart before. It's really a busy chart, but the main part of this chart to look at is the trough. And you know, if you're trying to pick the 6 hours for off time, chances are pretty good it's going to be somewhere between 0700 and 1300, something like that. That's pretty much common sense, I think. Okay, at the end of the contest, we would like you to submit your log using a new log submission form. That's our preferred method. You can still email a log if you want to. If you have a paper log and it's your only option, you can still send it in. You know, we're trying to get people to transition over now to use one of these really nice contest logging programs. Because it's so much more efficient, and it's a lot easier for us. When we're running through 1,000 logs, it takes a while to do that, and if we have to wait and manually enter data from a paper log, it just slows us down. Here's what the new log submission form looks like. It's pretty cool. It's actually very simple. All you need to do is fill out your email address twice up at the top. You can put your phone number in if you want to, but we want your email address in case there's any problems so we can get back to you. Then there are some little boxes to check if they apply. Are you a county expedition? Are you a YL? Are you running mobile? Are you a brand new contester? And so forth. You can put some soapbox comments in. And then all you need to do is open up your Cabrillo file, copy it, and paste it in there, and click the Submit button. Now, there's a little help button that I put up that to the right. If you click on that, it actually tells you in great detail what to do to get your Cabrillo log ready to paste into that white space that you see. And once you click the Submit button, two things will happen. Once, you'll get a thank you email back recognizing it, and then after a delay of perhaps 10 minutes or so, your log will actually show up on the server that we have. We'll list you by your call sign. We're finalizing that, and we'll go live in another day or two. So that's the big picture. I want to dive down into the awards program a bit because we're proud of our awards program. We have a lot to offer. For example, the top 20 single ops in both inside and outside of California receive a really nice bottle of wine. The wine comes from Twisted Oak Winery, which is owned and operated by ham radio operator Jeff Stye, WK6I. So if any of you guys on the call have been privileged to be in the top 20 in the past, you've gotten a bottle of wine. It's really delicious wine as well. These are the lists of the wine winners for the 2011 party last year. On the left side are the California winners, and on the right are the guys outside of California. We're really happy about this. It really is a high-quality bottle of wine, and people get excited about it. We also offer quite a few plaques. We actually offer 39 plaques. On the left side, you'll see the 24 plaques that are offered to California operators, and then on the right side, the ones that we offer for outside of California. The little arrows to the right in between are the equivalent. So at the top, we offer a first-place single op award for California and the equivalent outside of California. You'll see over on the right, Andy 86Y won first place in single op low power California. That's the award number 4 on the left. The plaques are really nice. They're wooden, they're high quality, and they really look beautiful on the wall or wherever you want to put them. So we're really proud of our plaques. We've also opened up some new awards, some award categories that we're happy about. We have the really active club competition in California between 2 clubs, especially the Motherlode DX Contest Club and the Redwood Empire. They're going to go at it this year. They're very close to one another in terms of the number of logs submitted. Outside, the Contest Club of Ontario has won the club competition for many years in a row. But last year, the Tennessee Contest Group was just breathing down 3,000 points apart, another log or two, and they might have won that. So we expect an interesting battle between those 2 clubs, and who knows? You know, there are other clubs, Frankfurt Radio, Potomac Valley, if they get their guys working at it, they could easily increase their scores to compete It's a fun competition between the two. We offer a plaque for both the California and non-California clubs. There's also plaques we offer for California expeditions. These are the guys that go out, get the tent and generator crew that go out and set up some temporary antennas, field day style, and using temporary supports and so forth. I'm actually going to be going to Merced County with 3 other guys this coming Friday to do that. And it's the typical field day operation, as you can imagine. It's fun to do that. Everybody in the club tries to get out and do it and get involved in an expedition at least once over the time they're in the contest. Another version of this is get out and move around in a car or anything else that has wheels or on water or in the air. Mostly it's, of course, somebody getting in a van or a car and driving around. You don't have to actually operate while you're in motion, though. You can stop and operate and keep moving. And when you do that, you sign your call sign and you slash the county that you're in at that moment. There's some excellent state QSO parties that blow my mind on this topic, in particular Georgia and Florida this year. They had some fantastic mobile operators or rovers. I couldn't believe it. We had one guy last year, Dave, K6MM. Believe it or not, he visited 24 counties in the 2011 California QSO Party. There they are listed on the left, and set a record in that. So can be done. We have a new contester award. This is for California only. It's a single operators only award. The idea here is to try to attract somebody to come in that hasn't operated or submitted a log before. They make at least 100 contacts, and they limit their station antennas to a tri-band or vertical or wires. They simply enter new contest on the log submission form. They check that box. We had our first winner this past fall, last year rather, Eric Gordon, W6GMP. Another category is the school category, and we have awards for both in-state and out-of-state. W6 Yankee X-Ray, which is the Stanford Amateur Radio Club station, tends to win this a lot. That's Mike N7MH on the right accepting the award for CQP 2010. It's open to students, faculty, staff, and alumni. And again, to indicate that you're operating school, you just click the school button or the radio button on the log submission form. We'd like to get more non-California stations, schools operating. You notice the one down below, South Dakota School of Mines and Technology actually won it, and they didn't have very many QSOs. It wasn't, but they were the only non-California school that bothered to submit their logs. So if you're attached to a school or a university or know people who are, encourage them to get on the air. They may wind up with a beautiful plaque for the effort that they put in. We also offer a YL award, both inside and outside California. Again, you indicate that in the log submission form. Only single operators are eligible, not a member of a multi-op team. So we're really trying to focus on single operators who get on the air. Pictured here is Ellen Utig, N6UWW, who won this award last year. And not pictured is a woman named Andrea, BA3YOJ from Toronto. We also offer a youth award. This is an award that we use to attract young operators. And the definition of youth we came up with is you have to be 18 years old or younger in your own time zone on the last day of the contest. So, that's about as good as it gets right there. So this picture that you see here of Natalie, she's 12 years old, and she won this. She had, I don't know, 400 or 500 contacts and did a great job. So she won this from California, and I don't have the picture of the non-California winner yet. But we're very excited about this youth award and trying to get more and more young operators involved in this state QSO party, as we all should. Okay, so that's the summary. If you want more information about the awards, go to the website, and then up on the top left there's an awards link, and you'll have all the information that I showed plus more. There's the Work to All California Counties Award and information about ordering the t-shirt and so forth. So we're pretty close to the contest. It's coming up in a few days. It's not too late to register your county if you haven't done that. It's not too late to start a county expedition. It's not too late to help support your local club. What we would love is you to do is make sure you take your camera and, you know, whether it's pictures of you operating in your shack or folks out in the field, we'd like to get some photos to put in the newsletter, which is called The Jug, also up on the websites that we have. Above all, don't forget to submit your deadline before October 31st. That's the deadline. If you're outside of California, pretty much the same thing. Put your state or province on the air. We want to make sure as many states, and especially the Canadian provinces, are on the air. And the same type of thing. Try to help us promote the contest afterwards by sending in your comments. Fill out stuff on the soapbox. We love to get the soapbox comments. Okay, in a nutshell, you can work anyone in the contest once per band mode. So once on every band and once on every mode. And so that translates to many QSOs if you got yourself organized. Watch the bands carefully. The money bands are 80-40. The money bands are really going to be 20, 15, and 10, we think. But if 40 and 80 are open, those are the 5 bands that you probably should concentrate on. If you're comfortable operating both modes, please do. Be careful about which entry you pick. There's some pros and cons to them all. Remember that the point difference, the CW, is worth 3, sidebands 2. Maximize your score by maximizing the multipliers. And last but not least, check out your station equipment and antennas, your computer before this Saturday. So get on the air and have some fun. 1600 UTC is not too far away. And don't forget the logs due deadline, October 31st. That's it.
All right, John, thank you very much. Any questions regarding the California QSO Party? Go ahead and fire those in now. I do have one here, John, and it comes from Mark AA3K. Can you just remind us again what the exchange is for the QSO Party?
It's the, I'll put that up here and show it to you. It's the sequential, it's a serial number, and then it's either your county, if you're in California, or if you're outside of California, it's your state, which is your 2-letter abbreviation. If you're in a Canadian province, a 2-letter abbreviation for the province, or if you're simply outside the U.S. altogether, anybody outside the United States will send DX. And DX will go in your logging program. If somebody in Mexico sends XE, you can probably put that in there too. But that's the exchange.
Okay, very good. Well, I think that's it for questions. Just a reminder that both QSO parties have web pages that you can go to for any other last-minute information, questions, that sort of thing. So, guys, I want to thank both you, John and Mike, for taking the time to put together the presentations and to be here and share the information with us. We do record these webinars. This one will be sent tonight, and hopefully, I don't know if it'll appear tomorrow or so. On the WWROF webpage. I'll send out an announcement when that's done with specifics where you can find it, but it'll be a link off their webpage somewhere. The other thing I want to mention, just sent out a notice before our event tonight. We've got a big webinar coming up on Sunday, October 21st, and that is the new CQ Worldwide Contest Director. If you haven't seen the announcement yet, Randy Thompson, K5ZD, been named director of the CQ Worldwide DX contest, and he's going to be doing a webinar for us on the 21st of October at 1900 UTC. Notice has been sent out to contesting.com and also the individual list that I have. But if you have any questions or you need the link, you can just email me, k4zw@verizon.net. And you can pick that address off of qrz.com as well if you need it. But that will be no doubt a very popular event, and we're really excited to be able to host that for WWROF. So with that, once again, thanks, guys, and good luck this weekend, and also in the upcoming PA QSO Party. And looks like a good kickoff for the fall contest season. Take care, everyone. 73s, and we'll see you next time. So long.